to you as you look at your life as a leader within this company? Like if I said, this is really hard, pick one thing, but what has been most rewarding to you? Melanie?
As a leader and in a personal, like what is not
It's your own pick.
Okay. For me, it's been seeing my team succeed and seeing, that mom quit her job and stay home with her babies. To see that people achieve the same things that I have, that were my dreams are, and everyone's got their own dream, but just to see them just succeed and be able to do those things. I think we all want it for our team, but watching them grow and seeing their progress and see like where they are when they start off and where they like just watch them from the little caterpillar turn to a butterfly. And so it's just amazing to watch them grow.
To me, it's never been about me, it's been about you. And how my day starts is I'm very regimented and disciplined. I had things I wanted to accomplish, but it was never what I wanted to accomplish. I wanted to be the influence of other people. See, leadership is not a position. So many people get hung on title. It's your disposition. It's how you carry yourself every single day, how you impact people. And how do you do that? It's how you live your life and impact your people. Like, I want to hit some laws for a minute. So I lecture at 2 major colleges. All year I give that away to charity because I wrote a book. It's sold a lot of copies. And I had a little girl at my last lecture 2 weeks ago, and she said, something come up, she said, you can't defy the law of gravity. Or you can't break the law of gravity. I said, you're right, you jump off the building and break your neck. But about 4 times a week I defy that law because I run over here to Charlotte, I jump the jet, and I take off. The fuel and the aerodynamics of the jet causes me to go up and I defy it, but then I have to land to refuel. So the principle that governs the law brings me back down. The principle always bring you back to center. And I'm telling you this, and you can defy the law of health. I've done it. I went to 750 pounds. I've lost 507 in 12 years. I'm really working hard, but I stopped defying the law. But see, when the principle of that law takes over, what begins to happen? The principle brings you back to center. You start being overweight. You got diabetes. You got cancer. You got all kinds of things that are happening because you chose to do what was easy. So what is easy to do is easy not to do. And so we have to lead by example. And so I stopped defying the law of gravity, or the law of health, and I started following the law of health. So laws are put in place for us to what? They guarantee your success. But it's hard to do it sometimes. That's where the discipline starts to take over. That's called, when you do the 3 steps to success, that is a system that guarantees our success. And so, number 1, you got in. Number 2, authorship is a non-negotiable. Why? Because it keeps me in the infrastructure of the law of my health, which is a principle-based company, a principle-based product line. Everything is based off of principles. And so once you do that, I've not been on it for 18 years, and therefore I've been able to accomplish getting my health back. And therefore at 57, I shouldn't be able to run like 20 miles. I do that most every day. And they said, what are you doing? I said, because I don't want to defy the law of health. I don't want to go back to where I was. And so, and then when you create that story, because people want to duplicate your efforts, it's really not so hard to have step 2 done, is it right? It's not about you. It's about you sharing your story. If you don't have an authorship, you don't have a story to share. You're just hoping some shit will happen. No, really, this is a real big business. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds or billions of dollars and growing exponentially. And so when you make up your mind, I'm going to follow the law because it guarantees you success, so it's a little bit easy to do, but anytime you make it hard on yourself, you start to do what? You start to grow, but you start to get stronger. And when people see you grow and get stronger, they want to be what? With you and do what you do. So therefore, when you find out what's most important to that person, you become a person that can create a solution for a problem. Does this make sense? I drive some pretty nice trucks. I ain't bragging on my trucks. But the principle was built into the blueprint of my truck. The principle was built into the blueprint of your human body. Now, I like pineapple juice. I get Miss Lackey, our housekeeper, to do the pineapple juice. It's fresh. I enjoy it about once a week. But if I put Quaker State and pineapple juice in my truck, I defied the law, but the principle brought it back around. It doesn't operate. So therefore, we defy all these laws, and then the principal comes over and you're overweight, you got diabetes, you should have been doing the right thing all along, because what is easy to do is what easy not to do. And therefore, when I see that by staying steadfast all these years and believing in Mark Pentecost, because he is a man of what? Principle and integrity, everything he does, I don't question anything he does. If he says, we're going to do it, I don't say, okay, let's just do it. Mm-hmm. He's got my back and had for all these years. And therefore, when I look at you, I want to offer something of value. So when you become a person of principle because you follow a particular system, you think the people you're in contact with, they're going to follow you because what? They seek results. So become a person of principle. Stop defying the laws. You're not going to win. Because what is easy to do on the weekend, if you're living for the weekend on a bag of potato chips and Netflix, you're defying the law of health, you define the law of your family, you define a lot of laws. And therefore, when the principle kicks in, the doctor tells you one day, oh, you got diabetes, or we just found a spot in your lung, then you're going to get all excited because you want to get within the infrastructure of the law, because what the principle just kicked in and brought you back to balance. Why in the holy hell do you want to keep beating your head against the wall when you can do it right the first time, and you can start in effect people, and you become what? Contagious. And once you start to become contagious, what is easy to do is easy not to do.
Amen.
Woo! So good. Give it up for Rusty.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think there's two words that come to my mind, and that is overcome and belief. And that is a reward because not only is it applicable to my personal journey, again, going back to starting, 18 or 19 years ago in this industry, I was terrified to speak in front of people. Terrified. And the people who were in my life then are my best witnesses, because the rest of my circle doesn't know that about me and how far I've personally come. But what I've learned is that because of my own bravery and because of your bravery, you're going to influence somebody that fears the same things you do, and you're going to watch them overcome because you did. You get to be an example. So that is the overcoming aspect of it, and that how is that rewarding in this business as a leader? Because when you're witness to such beautiful transformations, whether it's physical or it's emotional, psychological, financial, when you're witness to that, you cannot help but grow. We earn what we call a paycheck of the heart because of that. So that's the first. And then the second is that belief. Again, I can only talk from my own personal experience. And when I joined, I didn't know the person I signed up with. I didn't have the money. We were buried in debt. I didn't know if it really worked. I'd never tried a product. So when you step out in faith, your belief will grow as you do. And I think that's really what a part of being a leader, as Alicia said, every person is a leader. It's up to us to just make a determination, what are we willing to do that most people won't? And when you live your life in example, not being perfect, nobody's perfect, but when we take those chances, are you getting me on the side over here going, yeah, nobody's perfect? I'm teasing you, Rusty. I was just joking with you, but
We've been buddies a long time.
yes. But when you take those chances, you become an overcomer. You influence others to become an overcomer, and your belief grows, and then you can transfer that belief to others.
Okay.
So, test.
Okay. I'm just going with it. I had my whole little thing in my head, and it's gone. And we have 3 more questions and 12 more minutes.
Okay.
Keep it on time. I've jumped off cliffs with #1 earner Stephanie Dunn, raced through the jungles of the Dominican Republic and Jamaica, and one of the things that I can say about her as the #1 earner in the company is she is bold. Anybody ever seen that about her? How bold she is? And even in Joshua, it calls us to be bold. And I feel that I'm looking at a group right here that they're all bold in their own demeanor and in their own plan. I've been with Rhonda on the streets of Thailand, and she's got this gentleness and this boldness and this attraction that people are just so attracted to her. And Rusty, I see him as he's the most consistent, persistent, and he will make you laughing one minute and crying another one. And Melanie, I'm just getting ready to know you, but I would have to give you a tip today in your business for your growth and success is to be bold. Even when it doesn't feel good, even when it's scary, be bold in your business. Because of the woman that Christy was talking to about a little while ago that had the 3 kids in the back of her car and she was fixing her hair, someone was bold enough to share the business with her. Be bold. Be bold. So, hot second, if you had a word, mine's bold. What's your word for a tip for success for the business, Melanie?
Okay, I'll come up with a word after I say. So, okay, work your business based on what your goal is and where you want to be. You cannot work your business based on how you feel, because anyone that may struggle from depression or life happens, sometimes it's hard to get out of the bed and to do what you don't want to do or what's hard to do, and you have to work based on where you want to be. You have to look, like Rhonda said, look ahead. You can't look down. You gotta just go. So, I guess you've gotta show up. You've gotta do the hard things. The one word, yeah, consistency. No matter what, you push through.
I got 2 words.
Can you do 2 words under 2 minutes?
Yes, unconditional love.
Oh.
So you have to have love in your heart to have heart in your love. And when you do everything, you don't condition the outcome, you'll always be successful. Because if you go into it with an emotional connection and I need to make a sale or I need to do this, instead of having love for the person and find out what's most important to you, when I do that, if I can't create a solution for your problem, what? Then I have an emotional attachment to it. It's always about the money. Here's 4 principles I live by. You want to know what they are? God is first, non-negotiable. Family is second, non-negotiable. Fitness is third, non-negotiable. You've been watching my life, right? Finances is fourth. If you put finances first, you give a damn what your rank is. If you put that first, you'll spend all of that to get the 2 middle ones back, because therefore the principles kick in and they govern the law. And so I can tell you this, every morning I'm on my knees with the Pentecost family. We have a relationship outside of it works. And have for years. That's a non-negotiable. Cindy says it's a non-negotiable. It is. My wife, I've been with her for 40 years, only girl I ever dated, and I have 2 young daughters. I would die over them. That is a non-negotiable, because I have a belief system. My fitness, she don't have to ask me to go every morning and go get it. I do it. That's a non-negotiable, because I want to be an asset to my family, not a liability. And then if I do these 3 correctly, you never have to worry about the 4th one. It's always going to be there. But the day you change your circumstances, so what's the difference in the feeling of fear and excitement? It's just how you label it. When you go from how you feel about people, and I unconditionally love you, and I don't know you, this little girl here, she don't live an hour from me, and I'm gonna start doing Zooms where I guess I never met her till today. I'm gonna start helping her because I unconditionally love her. I don't even know who she is, but I know she is a human being. There's one race in the world, and it's the human race. Anybody tells you other than that, they're trying to divide you and keep you upset so they can control the outcome of your life. There again, there's that modern day slavery. I don't care who you are. If you're a human being, I want to help. I want to make a difference. I want to impact you to what? So you can become contagious. And I want to lend you my hope and my faith and everything you need to become strong, to carry this to the next level. You know why? Because somebody needs each one of you.
Amen.
Amen to that.
Powerful.
This one is really easy for me because I'm going to share the word that I chose to define, or I should say that God gave me at the beginning of this year to define this year for me, and that is new.
Oh.
So new is not writing a new chapter in your life, but it's writing a new book. Okay? So when you do that, it's new experiences, it's new team members, it's new procedures, it's new everything. I've lost 25 pounds that I hung on to for 4 years because I made a decision that I was going to reinvent myself, and this would be a new year.
Nice.
Fabulous. Those feeling good? You got these words? Awesome. But, oh my God, like, I've been in this business for so long, and like, it took me 30 days to get my 4 loyal customers, and the ThermoFight X, I took 4 of them, and I didn't lose any weight. And event was all the way in Charlotte, and that's like at least 25 minutes from my house. And I don't know, there's just, I don't want to log on Facebook at night and in the morning and like at lunch and make a post. Like,
Oh, I love it.
have you ever heard it?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Do you think we've heard it?
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make a difference if you've been in 18 years or 18 months. It happens every day. And you know, staying positive in your life is a central focus to always stay in a positive track's positive, right?
Amen.
I mean, that's science. So now we bring that into our lives, we bring that into our business, and how do you deal with that as a leader? Because as exciting as it is, we got the diamond crowd, we got the ambassador crowd, we got but not everybody's there. So, as a leader, when you're dealing with the negativity question from a customer, from a distributor, from a team, or something devastating happening, you know, how can we learn as leaders to teach our future leaders to deal with these negative and these complaints and these issues that arise? I want to keep in the positive mindset of how we handle it, but I want them to be prepared for it.
I learned a secret years ago that has saved my life when it comes to leadership, and this applies not only to your teams, but also to your families, to your children, even to your spouse. And that is called the sandwich technique. Okay? So some of you are nodding, I love that. What you want to do with that complainer on your team, for instance, and you know what? I mean, sometimes it's just a lack of, isn't most of the time when people complain, it's because they have a lack of knowledge. It's really not that they intentionally are negative, but just revisit the goals. What is it that you want to achieve in this business? And then use the sandwich technique. You know what, Susan, you are so good at communicating on the team page. You comment, you're so supportive, you're, you know, a go-getter, you're always offering support to your sideline sisters. I know that you said that your goal is to become a diamond. And in doing that, one of the things that I've noticed is maybe you've got some fears that you're not quite facing. Maybe, you know, could it be that posting on Facebook or social media at night or in the morning has you feeling some kind of way? You know, is that something that we can work through? Open that dialogue, have the conversation, ask the questions. That's gold in life, is ask the questions, get the answers. And then when you hear what the answer is this something that you feel that you could do? Do you feel like you could start tonight, and let's put up a post tonight, and you can do this consistently each evening and morning, and we can go from there and see where this takes you? Posting is not asking, but we're going to see where that'll take you. And then finish, and this is the sandwich, with another genuine compliment on what she does well or what you love or appreciate about her.
Sure. So in the hotel business, I used to handle corporate complaints, and so I come at it from, I guess, a different way, a different approach. But when someone's complaining, I think sometimes they want to be heard, and so one of the first things I try and do is acknowledge what they're saying and listen and hear, you know, privately, not on the page, but, you know, like, you know, acknowledge, like, so you feel this way, you know, like, let, you know, hear it, and I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry you feel that way, and just like, you know, you want to acknowledge it and empathize, and then try and come up with solutions to help them, you know, and then bring it back to their why and why they're doing this, and help them come up with a solution that they think they can do. But I try and go through those steps just so they know that they're heard, they know that you care, they know that you're listening, and to me it kind of helps, you know, and then going back to their why, it helps them to kind of refocus and come back, you know, like bring it back to a positive center, and that's kind of how I've tried to handle those things.
Good. Thank you. No, I like to ask a lot of questions. I got a pretty good banker's background. I don't know what's important, so I ask the correct question. And then I always answer you with a question, so I want to make you think, I want to get your line of thinking up. And then when people complain, I don't know where you came from or what happened to you this morning, yesterday, put you in that mind frame. So I'm always be positive. And it's a positive mental attitude. Every morning when I get up, this will be the best day I've ever had. And that is a non-negotiable. My whole day is like this, positive, the mental attitude that I have, because I know what it is to be sick and going the other way. And what I like to get people to do is I say, just for a second, with my students at the college I do it, I say, and I do that for free. I said, what I want you to do is write your name down and write the definition of who you believe you are right now. I mean, right now, I say, oh yeah, right now. You're on my time now, and it's value. We start to establish value. And I want to establish value on your time as well. And I say, 1 year from today, I want you to write down who you're going to become. Has anybody ever read the book, The Greatest Story Ever Told? Anybody read it? So who is the author? Yeah, well, the author, the book's never been written. That author is you. You're writing the greatest story ever told because it's your story. And if I can get you journaling every day, and I couldn't ask you to do it if I don't do it, if I can get you journaling every day to write your story, write your life, because you see the finished product, which you'll never see it until you start to write your story. Because why? You don't want to write nothing bad about yourself. You want to write this glamorous blockbuster movie that you're living. So you take the pen away from other people and you start to write. And if I can get you commit just a few minutes a day to writing down your story, you'll start to see, well, damn, I'm negative here. This could change. So what is the difference between fear and excitement? It's how you label it. It's the environment you keep that you will become, just like a dog. You got a stray dog that keeps coming up to the house, you keep feeding him, he becomes a part of your family. And all of a sudden you just accept him. And if I can get you to laugh about it, being overweight or anything else like that, you'll start to accept it. This is true. Isn't that true, Ronnie? When you start to laugh about it, we make it humorous, you'll start to accept it. But when we start getting down to the fiber of it, you start writing down who you really are, but who you really want to become, you start to write your life, and you'll start to have something that you can track every single day, your growth. And when you're looking, you got something to judge it by, and you say, well, I didn't want this productive today. I shouldn't have complained as much. So I write every thought down. Because you're what? You're writing the greatest story ever told. You know why it is? Because it's your story. When you get people to see that, the mind, they start to change like immediately, like, wow, because you made him what? You just made him aware of not where they are, but what they could be, and possibilities. All the possibilities are endless. And it takes that kind of leadership, just like asking questions, make them aware, and create the desire to help take this person to the next level. And if you're not committed to journaling every single day, my grandmother got me started when I was 6. I was severely dyslexic. And it made me think I was like retarded. And for the lawyer that got pissed off at me last time because I said the word, I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. And so she got me journaling every day. And then my father got me to writing down definitions, and I retrained my brain to go the other way. And it's a struggle. It's a fight every single day because I always felt less than back then, but there is nothing I can't accomplish, period. Because you know why? Because I won't ever quit. And when you make up your mind that you're never going to ever quit, and they can know they can count on you, because what? You have heart in your love and love in your heart. As you progress forward, people want what? They won't start to follow you because you just what? You become contagious. Because what? You might be the only positive person in that person's life today. That you made that comment, it made a difference. It's going to go home. And when I look at you people here, and I know you got kids and I even got grandkids, I stop looking at you. I say, how can I impact that person that will create a brighter future for the children, for the grandchildren? You got to think that, because why? You're looking at a finished product here. If you can't see the finished product, because when I built the last house, I had to see that thing completed before I could even start on it. Mm-hmm. I have to see the finished product, and how do I do that? I try to get in your mind and lead you, and that's what leaders are about. Leadership, that's that disposition kicking in. Nobody gives a shit what your title is. It's that disposition. As you lead people, do they know that they can count on you every time they call? And that's what's got me here 18 years, because when you call, I'm showing up. If you call and say you need me, I'm showing up, and I'll bring the shovel and the gun and the horse or whatever else I need to bring. That makes any sense.
I love that. That's one of the things that I want to help close us down with here in our next couple of seconds. One of the things I noticed about Rusty is talking about asking a lot of questions. You know, you can solve a lot of problems for someone else when you ask the right questions. Mm-hmm. How many of you know what color you are with the It Works color chart that we do? How many of you have no idea what I'm talking about? Okay, get with your upline leaders and get that survey and get that color chart going, because it is powerful knowledge to know what color. Where are my reds? Where are the yellows? Where are the greens? And then where are the blues? Obviously. But not only knowing your own color makes a difference in knowing who you are, know your spouse's color, know your children's color, but then learn what your... Oh, it's time for me to take my TFX. I was like, what?
this feeling? Yeah, put that on my phone. That's leadership right
It's 1:45, y'all. But if you ask enough questions when you're talking with a prospective distributor or prospective customer, and you make it more about them than about you, and you figure out what color they are, you will automatically know how to talk to them. So, my last tip that I'm going to leave for you for growing your business and adding team and adding customers is, and Rusty's already said it already one time, make it more about them than about you. Find out what color you are, then devise a way in your brain to interview your prospective distributor and your prospective customer so you can meet their needs with what you have. Last tip to grow your business.
Just do it. Just make the decision, start new, and do the thing that you haven't done in the past that you know is going to take you closer to building your dream.
For me, it was detaching myself from the results and getting over the fear of sending that message or reaching out to that person. I had to just completely disconnect and just press send, and the more you do it, the better it feels, and the more you'll send, and just like, let go, just do it. It's so worth it.
This is going to be quick, but this is true. You got to know who you are. How many people here hold to a Christian or some type of faith? Right. When you know who you are, you have to help other people realize who they are and what they deserve. Here's what I believe. I believe before the foundation of the world, God Almighty chose you. So you were chose by choice. That means you were predestined. When the sperm hit the egg, you was a winner to start with before you even birthed. It was nothing more than a fertilized egg going down your mother's fallopian tube. God started throwing in greatness and strengths and every talent you need to be successful. And you're
Amen.
birthed into a particular blueprint. That is your purpose. Since
Yes.
the beginning of time till the end of time, there's never been another person like you, nor will there ever be. Which that constitutes what? That constitutes how valuable you are and how much you matter. That is who you are. And so what happens now when that constitutes the value and how much you matter? Because your price is one of a kind. Your price is one of a kind. And now that constitutes how valuable you really are. And see, with unconditional love, you become a mirror, you become a reflection to help other people see who they are through the reflection of you. And this is your job. This is your job. You help other people. You make them aware of all the gifts and everything they need. At birth, you had everything you need. It don't matter what your gender is, what your race is, what your religion is. It don't matter, none of that. You're born here for a particular purpose to fulfill before your destination is over. And once you understand who you are and you help other people realize who they are, how could you not leave here today and go full bore, hard as you could go with this, because you're infecting and changing people's lives because they just need what? They need hope, and I'll be willing to lend you my hope until you get yours. I'll be willing to lend you my strength. In fact, I'll lock arms with you. We'll become empathetic and we'll pull it together. I don't care who she is. She's part of the family. She's like a cousin. We're like at a family reunion here. Together, it creates solvency in this opportunity. Up line, down line, sideline, and cross line. It don't matter. That's the agreement Mark, Pam, and myself had at our first little meeting in Fuddruckers of Raleigh, North Carolina, when there was just 3 of us. And you know what? When you realize who you are, all those other fears begin to leave you because you become confident in who you are because you know who your maker is and you know you're put here for a particular plan and a purpose. And with that, I don't know what more you need. Become a product of your product because you are a product of what you're doing now. And create a new addiction in your life. Most of you are addicted to a lot of different things because we're going to define the laws, what your purpose are. Now, the principle is to govern the law, and I can see it. But when you make up your mind you're going to follow the law because you're going to become a person of principle, and you'll become a person of character. And see, that builds integrity, and you'll become a person that you will never quit. It don't matter what Sally Joe did, and she jumped the fence because she never stuck to nothing. Nothing. No matter what Billy Bob did because he jumped the fence, but all those fence jumpers, they seem to want to come back now since we're the #1 company in the world again. You know, we're kicking rear end and taking names. The numbers are reflected. The rates of growth. You know why? Because we know what our purpose is, and we step into that particular blueprint because we have everything we need to do what? To be highly successful. I don't know. The only limit you got is your abilities to dream and to think beyond where you are now to see what? The finished product.
That's right.